Hi,
AI
Tiffany.
tools for business brokerage and how you're using AI?
Um,
Good one.
sure. I use something called Beautiful.ai to create Sims now. You can, I could try and show it to you if you want. I could try and do a screen share real quick. Let me pull it up. ChatGPT you use just for all kinds of things, just to help with uh, general information, but I think Beautiful.ai is a tool that I really like because if you need to put a presentation together very quickly, you can do that. So let me just share my screen here. All right. And so what I like about it is you can go up here and you can say, create presentation, generate with AI, and what do you want your presentation to be about? And so one of the things that, you can look at their example prompts. They're talking about investor pitch decks, a board deck, um, investor pitch deck for a Series A SaaS company. What I learned about this is they like the term pitch deck in terms of, calling their presentation. So what I usually do in here is I'll put in business brokers pitch deck for, and then, what are you selling? Is it a restaurant? Is it a gas station? Is it, so somebody shout out a different, a business, accounting practice, anything. Just give me a business that you have currently listed or that you're trying to list.
E-commerce,
E-commerce, what?
dropship company.
A drop ship company that drop ships what?
Apparel.
Oh, for apparel, for
Apparel dropship or
commerce, apparel, drop ship company.
yeah, because it's hard to find descriptions for that.
Okay. All right. So let's see what it comes up with. Okay. So we've got a profitable e-commerce apparel dropship business opportunity. And all of this can be changed very easily, but it gives you a starting point. And that's what I like about it. Like right here, you might want to go in and say, okay, I want to replace this image and I want something around apparel. And so, you can just replace it with that. And, move on to your next slide. So what is e-commerce apparel dropshipping, benefits, potential for profitability? You can put in different timelines here if you want to. If the company has been in business for a while and had certain milestones they hit, you can do that. In this case, this is just market opportunity slide. So all of these, you can see here that it created a 9-slide presentation off of a sentence. And it gives you, like I said, it gives you a starting point, because
That's
now
great. Yeah.
instead of starting from scratch and trying to figure it out, you can add slides in, you can take slides out, you can change. Let's say I don't like this type of process diagram. I can change to a different process diagram. And these are, some of the different types that it has. So it just has a lot of different types of slides available. And you can easily change things. If you wanted to add something, you just add a task or add a milestone, whatever. I mean, different slides have different ways that you add information to them. So here you could say, I want the image to take up the whole background, or, I want it left, I want it right. want it to be a headline. So the slides are very easy to use. So this is one AI tool that I use a lot now. Just
Love it.
because
Thank you. Yeah, it's awesome. Never heard of it before.
and it's inexpensive. It's like $144 a year, so $12 a month basically. But I believe that you do it on an annual subscription basis. So for 144 bucks, I mean, if it saves you an hour of time, it's already paid for itself. And it'll save you much more than an hour of time. Chat GPT, just for anything, for responses to emails, for any type of writing, for marketing content, or anything, and again, with chat GPT, you're just telling it initially to, what role do you want it to play? So I always tell it, take on the role of a marketing company. You can say take on the role of a business broker. I usually say take on the role of a marketing company that's been hired by a business brokerage firm to market or to provide marketing content for or whatever. But you can mix that stuff around and see what type of results you get, because the results will differ. So what are you all using AI for? And what AI tools are you using? You just throw it out there for everybody.
I use the AI for writing the advertising for the listing that I use it. Or sometimes I would like to looking for the meaning or result of something. I always use the ChatGPT. And I also use another AI as well, the Gemini. You know that? To compare
Yeah.
which one is.
Gemini?
Yeah,
So
Gemini.
Gemini with
Google.
Yeah.
Which do you like better? What comes up with better results for you when you compare?
Depend on the question you ask for. Sometimes the ChatGPT is better and sometimes the Gemini is better. Depend on the subject.
Do you copy and paste the prompt from one into the other so that you have the same prompt?
Yes, that's correct. And I compare to
Yeah.
see which one is more preferable and sometimes compare to. Yeah.
No, that's great. That's great. Hey, it's better. Look, there's some great tools out there, and the more tools that we use, the better off we're going to be. So the way I look at AI right now is, if you are, there's two ways to put a nail into a board, or actually more than that. But you can do it the old way with a nail and a hammer, or the really old way with a nail and a rock or a brick or something, trying to pound it in, or you use a nail gun. So AI is the nail gun. It's going to give us much faster, the ability to do things much faster. It's a great tool. Doesn't mean it has to be used for everything, and doesn't mean it's going to be the right tool for everything. So there are times when you definitely don't want to use a nail gun, right? Wrong tool for the job.
Yeah.
So, but in general, there's a lot of things that AI will do that can help us as business brokers. What are you using for prospecting, and what tool and how are you using it?
So I use this tool called Codebreaker, and what I do is I use it to try to, it's kind of like a personality assessment of online profile. So it's a plugin that is on my browser or whatever, and
Yeah.
I use it on different social media. Mostly LinkedIn is the one that I use the most, and I can go onto somebody's profile and it will read their profile and give me almost like a personality assessment, and then from that it will help me craft a message geared toward the type of personality that this person has. And it's based on if they're like a more knowledge-based person, if they're more knowledge-based, like if they just want more, if they're the type of person who wants a lot of information, if they're the type of person who is more into like titles and things of that nature, like then I'll lead with, I'm Dr. Jamie Bryant. Or if there's someone who is nurturing is another one. So if they're more of a nurturing personality, then, you know, that conversation is going to look a little bit more different than somebody who just wants information. So that's the tool. It's called Codebreaker. I'd, you know, be happy one day if there's time to kind of go through how that works. But I absolutely love it because it helps me craft a message that type of individual, and I get a better response now than I used to when I was reaching out to people on LinkedIn. So
All right, that's interesting. So it's code, C-O-D-E, Codebreaker.
Codebreaker, yep.
Interesting. So reads their personality and crafts a message that would resonate with them.
Yep, it's the messages are basically like, you know, a chat GPT, like if you were gonna chat GPT a message to send to somebody. But why I like it better than chat GPT is because it caters to their type of, like I said, personality based off of their profile.
Interesting. All right. Yeah, there's a guy in Florida, a commercial agent, Chad Massacre, and some of you guys know him, but he's with the EXP Commercial. He uses something called Linked Helper and LinkedIn to do a lot of messaging and basically run things in the background for him. And I've been looking at that to actually as a way to market listings, because it's as a way to reach out to potential strategic buyers. Like I have a printing company right now that I'm trying to sell. And so I was looking in LinkedIn for other printing companies and people that, you know, so that I could send them a message saying, hey, you know, currently representing a printing company with, I don't know, 7 million in revenue and $1.5 million in EBITDA. If you're looking, is this something that would interest you in expanding through acquisition, you know, things to that effect. So haven't really figured out quite how to use it yet. But I do think LinkedIn is a good tool for finding strategic buyers. I think you can leverage it. Just not sure 100% how to do that yet. But when I figure it out, I'll probably share it with you.
Yeah, Tanya, the sales manager that Chad uses, you can actually use like the AI tool that I use, Codebreaker, and integrate it with
Sales Navigator.
Yeah, and then so now your messages are automated. So all the messages again that you're sending out are automated, but again they're based off of, you know, what is likened to that person's, like what's the likelihood that they'll actually open it, you know, and things
Right.
like that. So it actually increases your open rate. But you can use them collaboratively.
That's cool. Yeah, I think that what I haven't figured out in LinkedIn, even in Sales Navigator, is just pulling up a list or creating a list is easy enough. You can search for people in the printing industry, but they might be selling printers. So if they're selling printers, that's not a good prospect. You know, so going through and trying to analyze every single company and what they do, once you create a list, to try and curate it, because I don't want to send a bunch of garbage to people that would be inappropriate, right? So it seems to be pretty time consuming, and it could just be because of you know, the industry that this happens to be in. Certainly if I was selling an accounting practice, it would be much easier, right? But because printing and packaging is what comes up in the industry, it's not, doesn't, you know, when you pull up a list, all these companies come up, but it doesn't say whether they're printing companies or whether they're selling printing equipment or whether, you know, they're selling printing franchises, or, you know, there's all kinds of other companies that come up that are not necessarily what I'm looking for. So yeah, it's LinkedIn Navigator. I don't know. I think once you figure out how to master it, it probably is a great tool. It's just investing the time. It's like any tool though, right? I mean, we all have tools that we use and all that, but you have to invest a lot of time up front to learn how to use them, or they're not helpful, right? So that's where I'm at with that. With LinkedIn Navigator though, is just, still trying to figure out how to use it efficiently, how to pull up a list of companies, then pull up a list of C-suite contacts, and then make sure the contacts are, that the companies are the correct type for acquisition of this particular business, and narrow things down and all of that. So kind of a lot.